Right. Right. Right.
You already in, huh? You're already all the way live, huh? Oh my gosh, welcome to the Walk-In Heavy Show. I am Renee and that is Sue. This is where there are no titles, no positions, no shade, no religion, just real feelings and real talk.
Yes, with some
Yes,
ratchetness in humor
because
and all that.
it's important for you to express the ratchetness, I assume.
Yeah,
Because you make a point to point
yes,
that out every.
right, right. Because I like that. I like to
Kate
put it
said
out.
that intro goes hard. It does. Like it makes you feel hyped. Like you gotta, like you have to move. Like if you don't move, then something's wrong.
I was doing jazzercise back here.
Yes, we saw part of that as we came live.
Listen, I gained all my Rona weight back. So anytime I can move, I move.
I'm with you. I surely have, Quarn 17. I sure have. And for some reason, let me tell you something. And this is our check-in time. And so for anyone that's joining us, this is the Walking Heavy Show
Hey
with
y'all.
Sue and Renee. Like we are so, 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 so glad to be here. Today we are talking about get them coins,
Some coins.
creating and supporting Black businesses. But before we bring on our special guest, we want to take the time to say hello to everybody
Hey
and
y'all.
to do our check in.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, I'm with you, Sue. I am absolutely 100% with you. I have picked up a few pounds, but okay, this is what I was going to say. For some reason, though, they're sitting differently. And so I'm kind of loving them a little bit. I am. Hello, everyone. I'm kind of loving.
You gonna share where it's sitting?
Well, I I tend to would like to assume. I don't know. Usually, when they come, they be in my face. They,
Hmm.
have me looking like I'm carrying. It looks, me and baby Raheem be doing our thing. But for some reason now, I don't know. Like they sitting a little differently. They ain't come. These friends didn't come by to their usual places.
Oh,
They stopped by a neighbor's house and dropped a little bit off.
okay.
Yeah, they put them
What?
somewhere else. They dropped somewhere else
So okay. I don't know
yeah.
why I can't share where they drop it. That's fine.
Because I
Well,
honestly don't know. I just know my clothes fit differently, but I've gained weight.
okay. So you be doing them. You be looking back at it and the same.
I was always able to look. I was always able to look back at it. Matter of fact, I could look far enough back at it that it waved at me. So, but anyway, so how are you?
Hot.
So we get on with our show. How are you?
Right. So where's my fan?
I know, and you know what? I found my fan, especially for today, and now it is nowhere to be found. And you can't fan it like that because you messing with the sound.
Oh, all right.
Okay. So let's get ready to talk about our topic for today about getting them coins.
Yes, get them coins.
And this was something we came up with. I'm getting a little feedback, but I'll check it on the next break.
All right.
Um, I'm glad we're having this conversation. I mean, because we also know, Tuesday, July the 7th is, blackout day. This is a day where all the supporters are supporting strictly black owned businesses, black owned businesses products, you know? And so we were having this discussion about what it means to have a business and try to move in the mindset, especially as people of color. If you don't have a business, maybe don't, you want to create a business. We wanted to talk about that, and we also wanted to talk about, okay, say you fall into neither one of those categories, how to show up as a black consumer. Like what's the mindset typically of the black consumer? Because we were sharing, and I'm gonna let you talk. We were sharing about the fact um, that the dollar doesn't remain in our community very long. And we were also sharing about some things we learned about ourselves as business people. And so we have a special guest here today to talk about that with us. And so, Sue, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, so yeah, so definitely this conversation that we're having today is timely. Uh, Specifically because what Renee talked about it being blackout day on the 7th, and I think some people are actually celebrating blackout week. I've been seeing on across social media people are talking about blackout week, and so they're being
Yeah, me
intentional
too.
about supporting black owned businesses, and so we felt that this it was time to really have a real conversation about about all of what that entails on the entrepreneurial side and on the consumer side. So I'm going to read a little bit about our guest today. One of my favorite deacons. I know we're not doing titles, but Ron Williams is is a deacon at Rivers of Living Water Ministries where I serve, and so she's one of my favorite deacons. And she's also the head of our finance for the church. So, talking about money, uh, it's very important. So, Vaughn Williams is a native of Reidsville, North Carolina, and uh, she received a Bachelor of Science degree in electronic technology from Norfolk State University. And upon graduation, Vaughn served our country for. I'm reading exactly from. So I'm not misgendering her. I'm reading it directly from her website. Vaughn served the country for 6 years as a. You got to say it. As a communications officer in the United States Army. At the end of her commitment, she moved to New York City to pursue a course of study in audio engineering and production at the Institute of Audio Research. She saw a need within the entertainment and professional sports industry where individuals were not using their income wisely and consequently were broke within 2 years' time. So she began to study accounting and financial planning. Vaughn has been supporting clients in accounting, taxation, and financial advisement for the past 8 years and specializes in small business and not for profit taxation. She also assists clients in financial planning and budgeting through seminars and conferences. She spends her free time volunteering in her community, and she enjoys traveling and eating at nice restaurants. Ron takes pride in assisting clients to maximize on every financial opportunity available to them. And without further ado, it is our pleasure to introduce to you, reintroduce to some, Vaughn Williams.
I'm sorry, I don't have enough power to sound like a whole bunch of people clapping, but that was my attempt.
Gotta go.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. I'm getting a little crunching sound. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
That's okay.
Are you
I can hear
typing?
you, but I can't hear Sue at all.
Uh,
So if you're gonna have to ask
you
her,
can't hear me?
ask me her question
Okay.
if she hasn't. I
But I'm
can hear you.
Can you
okay.
hear
So
me,
we're good.
Rainier?
I can hear you, Sue, but I'm also getting this weird feedback.
Sounds like somebody's
Yeah.
eating potato chips.
Yeah, and I don't have anybody in my space.
And if
So
I
I
hear
don't
something
know.
like that in my place right about now, I'm going out the door. Y'all just gonna see me disappear like that lady on that commercial. Just gone.
So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. So one of us got a friend with some Pringles potato chips. I'm not sure what to do with that. Um, but so I'm so excited to have you join us today. So we have to do something about that because everyone's saying that they can hear it too. So
Okay.
and it didn't start until you came on. So why don't you one more time? Yeah, it's you. One more time. I'm gonna pull you out and then let's see what happens. So it's definitely Vaughn. So it looks like she's going out and come back in. So in the meantime, so let's talk about why we started this conversation. So we were discussing our challenges around our worth, how we see our worth as um, entrepreneurs of color, and how the doubt and the comparison and the concern
Hmm.
comes up even we don't when there's nothing happening that should cause it to be so.
Right.
And so that's what made us want to have this conversation because we really wanted to talk about um, what that looks like and how that feels because it affects everything you do. It
Yeah.
affects how you do your pricing. It affects how you market your things.
Hmm.
It affects how many discounts you give out and how much stuff you do for
Oh,
free.
come on.
When you have questions about who you are, now when you're starting out, that's different, and we'll talk about that.
Right.
But when you are actively in business and you are scared to, and scared is the correct word. I see Vaughn has come back. I'm gonna get ready to try to pull it back in. But Sue, you can explain and elaborate a little bit on that.
Um. Yeah. I mean, there are many aspects of how fair we hear the clicking again, Vaughn. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's your connection.
Oh no. We need to hear what you have to say.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I think that I don't think that we're the only two that can relate to that. Um, we don't advertise our stuff because and people could be saying us, oh, you need to put it out there, oh, you need to you need to get paid for this, and we won't do it because there's so many other people doing the same thing, and we feel like other people are doing it better than us, and we don't feel like our stuff is good enough, and even when we get it, we get the courage
Hmm.
to put it out there, we are still faced with that mindset of comparison and not being good enough. And so we'll do things like lowball our prices, right?
Right,
We won't charge um sometimes we won't charge the standard going rate for things, right?
right,
Because we don't feel that we are worth it. We won't we won't network. And so transparent moment, there's a few groups. Matter of fact, all of the many of the groups that I belong to on Facebook, they're now doing this networking uh thing. So it's like, oh, you got business, drop your business, drop your business, drop your business. And I will scroll through all of the businesses. And if I see one person that does what I do, I won't put it.
Okay, so can I say something? Now I want to sound judgmental, right?
Right? No, no, go ahead. This is why we having this conversation.
Okay, so you do graphic design,
That's one of the things that I do.
right? But I'm saying that's part of what you do. There are definitely more than one graphic designers, but you do great graphic design. Like you do great stuff.
Thank you. But that about similar, we're talking about what how, and so we're not. I don't want to jump forward to the question, but it's a real thing. Like if I see somebody else that does websites, okay, well they've been doing it longer than I have, so oh, I'm not gonna. They're not gonna click on my thing anyway because the person like five posts above me has already posted their stuff. And but that goes back to me sometimes feeling like I'm not because I'm newer in the sense that I'm actually putting it out there that this is what I do. Like I actually have a
Right.
website, and stuff like that. That I will not yeah, I just won't post that I do it, you know. But anyway, that was my that
But that
was
was
my
honest.
transparent moment.
That was that was honest. And Pam said, and I want to give a shout out to Pam for inviting like 30 people when she came, like just now, like in 5 seconds, she invited like 30 people.
uh
Um,
Vaughn, can you see if you mute, will the sound go away?
so
Okay.
Pam said, even when our people charge a fair price, sometimes people still won't support that. And that's real. That's real.
That's that black consumer mindset that
Right. So I we'll talk about that more later, Pam.
yeah,
But we're
yeah.
going to start and prayerfully, Vaughn, we can actually have the conversation. This is what we started talking about, the
Hmm.
mindset of the black entrepreneur. So Susan was sharing about not feeling good enough, because that's what, good enough to post her business on threads when and if, you know, there's someone else that does what she does.
Uh,
So you muted yourself back.
okay, I'll mute again.
Oh, I
There,
got it.
there you are. Okay.
How
Oh
about now?
no,
I know we haven't.
No.
no. Oh
And it's weird
man.
because it just started. It wasn't doing that when we did our test.
Right.
So I'm not sure, and I don't want to leave that face up there. I'm not sure what's happening. It's like
This is the
someone has
devil.
added
I know
to.
we need to listen. Listen, I'll send this back to dry places. We need to hear what.
Did you just get Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about that sound. Is there a way to connect to something else?
I'll try to connect to something else and see if we can like make this happen.
No
Okay.
All right.
problem.
So I'm gonna come out. I'll be right back.
Well, Susan
Okay.
just spoke the blood of Jesus, so you should be fine on the way back in. Did
And the
you?
ancestors. I need the ancestors to come on.
So going back to the mindset of oh, okay. Salim said that we should have told her to sign off Wi-Fi and just go off her data.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. So we'll use that recommendation just in case, when she comes back, if that works, because we definitely want to hear from her.
Yes.
But we want to move on in the conversation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the mindset of the black entrepreneur, you're right. Like we have this comparison piece, But the truth of the matter is, there is so much that is available out there. Like, there is no limit.
I know. That's
There
it.
is no limit. Like, you can go, if you go to this particular block in Brooklyn, there are 7 churches on the one block.
Mhm.
Everything from Pentecostal to Holy Seventh Day Mother of Jesus. I don't know, but it's from one corner to the next corner. There are churches. As a matter of fact, 2 of them sit right next to each other. I'm sure if they bang on the wall real nice,
Mhm.
they can say, "Sing, John," and
Mm.
everybody would be all right.
Right. Right. Right.
So,
Right.
um,
But that's why I think it was important for us to start with the mindset, because you're absolutely right. I mean, there really is room for everyone. There is room for everyone. You talked about churches. We could talk about loaves of bread, right? You talk about how many types of cookies there are, and how many types of cereal that they are, right? I mean, there is room for everyone. But and
and one company will make different types of the same thing.
right,
But
right.
there's
One company make
18 flavors of Oreos.
right, right. So it really is. And some people, some individuals just know, like, they know that they were born to be an entrepreneur. They just, some people just have that confidence. you know some of us, not so much. Some of us have to fight every day, and that's just real talk, right? Just in general, right? So if in general you have to fight every day, with your sense of worth, or your sense of ability, or be able, what I'm saying, like, or your qualifications, or whatever, if you have to fight every day anyway, then that is going to translate into every single thing that you do. So people could praise you from sun up to sundown. They could look at your stuff and say, "Oh my God, this is so amazing," and you will always find the thing that's wrong with it. You will always be in your head about, oh well, I could have done that differently. I could have did this differently. Oh well,
True.
I'm looking at somebody else's stuff. Oh well, maybe. So part of the mindset, and we talk a lot about, we have talked a lot about doing inner work, right, throughout our season. And so this is just another example of why doing that inner work is so important, because it really does. It really does. And I have to. I always talk about my dad. I always talk about my dad, because it is something that I'm still working through. When I started freelancing, I know many of you who are listening, that I see, know the story, because I share all the time. When I first started freelancing, my first time out, I was freelancing for Blackhead Digest. Those of you who know Blackhead Digest from back in the day, and my first time out, it was like three articles, paid. It wasn't like a free thing. Nationally syndicated magazine. And I remember I was so happy when that first issue came out, and I was running around, and I even showed the man at the newspaper stand, like, look, this is me, right? Showed him my byline, and I took it to my father. And I showed it because I wanted him to be proud of me. We didn't really have a relationship. I decided to have a relationship with my dad, and I showed it to him, and he told me that he was surprised that I could write my name. Now, the evidence is was in front of me. My evidence said that I wrote well enough to be paid for it. To be included in a nationally syndicated magazine. That was my evidence. The evidence was that magazine was on every newspaper stand. You could go in one of these little magazine shops. It was everywhere. So I had all of that evidence in front of me. But yet, every time I went to write after that, I heard my father's voice, and I've struggled with writing, even since then. I was in my early 20s. So it's that type of we talk about mindset. We got to move past, the stuff that we've placed in our mind that somebody else gave to us, right? Somebody else. My father gave me that because of his own. I found out that later on he couldn't read. So because he couldn't do that, he put that on me, and I took it and I walked with it. I threw that in my bag. I threw it on on the record player, and I walked with that all my life. So now that I'm working on entrepreneurship, you know how many times, how many iterations of Kara there was.
I know.
You know.
I've been here.
So why did it take so long? Right? And so we could talk about divine timing and all of that. No, no, yes, there is such thing as divine timing, but we block ourselves, we stop ourselves, right? We keep ourselves stuck when we hold on to things that don't serve us, and that includes having like a mindset that says that you cannot, that you are not, right?
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, that's real. I mean, that's real. I'm getting the feedback again. I'm not sure why, but that's real because I shared with you, since we were having a transparent business moment. You know, I shared with you that last week I had a meeting with a branding strategist because I'm creating my pick through for this season of Pink Love Wellness. Like, I've recognized I've been doing this over 10 years. That's just this part. I've been doing the work that I've been doing for 10 years and then additional activist work for almost 15. So I recognized that I needed some help, and because I this is my career now.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a job. This is my career
Right,
now.
right, right.
And so I'm meeting with her, and she's going over her stuff with me. And because I'm not, at a corporate job at this time, my brain has been wired by that. Like, every time I did something on my own, my mom would even, God rest her soul, day would have been her birthday. But my mom would always say stuff that, well, you gotta make sure you got to keep a job.
Mm,
Even if I was
mm.
running my own stuff, she'd be like, well, you got to keep a job. So now I don't
Yeah.
have a job. And so when the woman was giving me her information, I said, "Oh," I said, "Okay, let me check my budget because I got to see about that."
Hmm.
I was
Right,
like,
right, right.
it hurt a little bit, and she said, "Okay, no problem. We'll talk about this tomorrow." She said, "But by the way," like, she threw this in there like a by the way.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Um, she says, "By the way, you have a business. Work your business." And I was like, now see, Vaughn just came in, so I'm gonna bring her in a minute. But I was like, oh, that's right. And I cried.
Mm,
I was upset for days. Like, you would have
yeah.
thought somebody died. Like, I was upset for days because what I realized that I was doing holoclaria before I transitioned to Pink Love, but for
Hmm.
8 years, I have never ever considered my business when looking at my financial place.
Mm, hmm.
Never.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna bring Bon in, and I'm gonna see how we doing here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. We're so happy that you can join us.
Oh gosh. Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm flattered, humbled, and honored. And yeah.
You here? I was here. I was here.
You
I'm
made
here.
it.
You made it.
so so you came back this time on my story, on my
Yeah.
transparent moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
was sharing about the fact that I, when meeting with the business strategist and she gave me her rates and everything, I had basically told her that I would get back to her after I checked my budget,
Hmm.
and she reminded me that I'm an entrepreneur and that, she says, well, where's your product? Do your business. And I was telling Sue that it made me cry
Mhm.
for days, because I was really, what I realized was, in all the years, the 8 years I had my business, like, I never calculated into my financial planning. I never considered it anything that was going to be fiscally sustaining. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
was not even a consideration. It just never even
Mhm.
came up in my mind,
Right.
and that
Right.
disappointed me.
Mm. Okay. And what did you do from there? How did you pivot?
Well, in my pivot, I connected with a business coach, around the whole product building,
Mm-hmm.
pricing,
Mm-hmm.
setting up a sales
Yeah.
funnel, the
Good.
whole shebang. Like, so
Good.
everybody working. My pit crew is working for me.
Awesome.
but
Awesome.
but it was a real moment, because I think what I recognized was I was treating my business like a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It was something to
Well,
do
most of
while
us
I
do
went to
that
work.
in the beginning. Yep. Yep. And most of us do that when we're first starting out. We don't take ourselves seriously. So, how can we expect anybody else to take us seriously if we don't? You know.
That's it.
So, and you know, there's an internal conflict. So I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna take us back to back right? When we got here, we were the currency. We were the currency. We were the thing that was traded for goods, other goods, services, cotton, tobacco, fruits, vegetables. You know, I'll give you Mamie for 40 bushels of corn. You can have, you can have our best girl for, this little patch of land over here. You can have our best buck for 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 cattle, or whatever. So we were the currency. So the we attach that, if you think about that, a human being will attach that to their worth. So my worth is 4 cows, or 40 or 5 bushels of corn, or whatever. And so that's in our DNA. And so when it comes to our services, outside of the buck on the plantation, and outside of Mamie in the house or whomever, we don't know how to value our worth outside of a few cows and some corn. So it's hard for us to put any value on that, because we have worked for somebody for so long. And now we have to put some worth on our own time. And it's it's
I'ma
it's it's
cry.
it's a struggle. It's a struggle. So there's so much unpacking that we have to do as business owners. If we're struggling in the workplace to ask for a raise, how in God's name are we going to figure out how much our time is worth to do the
Wow.
same thing that H&R Block does, and charges $500 for a few keystrokes? How have And the information is not readily available. We still have to compare ourselves to H&R Block, and I'm using H&R Block because I do, I'm a tax accountant as well. So, and not for nothing, My tax returns are nowhere near as expensive as theirs. Hmm. Expensive. I get paid what I'm worth, but I don't nickel and dime people. I don't have to do that. So, you know, we're going to continue to struggle until we get it that, you know, our brain works the same, our blood flows the same. It flows the same. Our hair is a little different, and our melanin is a little different. But the same thing that I do the same thing that H&R Block does in my practice.
So, first of all, I had to get my life together just now because that was one of the most profound things. And can you mute just for a second because we're getting the feedback, but I'm not ready to let you go again. So I don't want you to go anywhere. But I, damn, like that's one of them times where you just gotta say, damn. Like I hear that. And I'm gonna get ready to say something, and I'm not saying this because I'm listing my accomplishments. I'm saying this because I'm trying not to cry, right? Because I talked about this in one of the shows about how it feels when you walk in a room as a person of color and you're walking in. Um, you actually should be at the table, and they treat you like why you here, right? But I remember talking to someone about how it felt to go on a website for a popular coach, right? Who had not even 25% of the background, the experience, the education related to this skill. I'm not even talking about my regular academic education. And they had to have charged almost 4 times what I charged. No books, nothing. And I had 4 of them. And I couldn't even imagine charging what they charge. When I told that strategist how much I was charging, and she was a person of color, woman of color. Her exact words to me was, "I can't even wrap my head around what you just said." So unmute yourself, please. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So, but yeah, but you know, and at some point, we will need to stop comparing ourselves. Comparison is the dream killer, right? And even though X, Y, and Z person may not have what we have, they don't do it the way we do it. Nobody does what you do the way that you do it. Yeah, there's Dave Ramsey, there's Susie Orman, there's, pick a million other financial coaches, tax advisors, whatever, but none of them do it like I do it. I
Right.
speak to a certain tribe. So, like, your tribe is your tribe. Um, but I do want us to go ahead and like charge what we're worth. And here's the thing: there's some more weird psychology around it, which I don't quite understand. But if I was to charge, let's see now, so my business coaching program is $870, right? $870 for 87 days, $10 a day, roughly, right? And for some odd reason, I can't get people to pay that. But we'll pay 1997 for anybody else, or we'll pay $200 a month every month for ever, right? So who do we? So, but we still get the we still get to hold ourselves in high regard. So it's a whole mind thing, you know. And I personally think that my coaching program is the best one on the planet. Matter of fact, Sue was one of my students,
Yeah.
and mhm. So my students get results, obviously, right?
I need to I need to say something
That's neither here nor
about that for me, but go ahead.
that's neither here nor there. But the thing is that we don't charge enough either. We don't charge enough. We don't charge enough. We don't charge enough because we don't think that we will pay for it. Because every time we put our stuff up, someone, well, can I get a discount? Can I get a discount? There's one thing to say, look, Vaughn, I really just need some advice. I can't do the program. It's not in my. I can't invest it right now. But I got $50. Can you spend a half hour with me, or can you spend an hour with me just to get me on the right track? And once I get it, and I start to make a little money, I will get in your program, right? There's that's one thing. If you really want information, you'll figure out a way to get it. As opposed to going, yo, Vaughn, I want to take your class, but I'm only willing to pay half price for it. I'm only willing to give you $200. So you don't say very much about me. And if I was really wanting to be a booger, I was like, all right, cool. Now suppose I'll go ahead and let you have my program for $200. How much of me do you think you're really going to get?
Mm.
Are you going to get the whole thing, or are you going to get the discounted Vaughn?
The problem is we give the
So
discount and
we
give the whole thing. That's the problem.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, but that's not really how it works. When we buy things at the store on discount, it's last year's stuff. It's flawed. There's something wrong with it,
Right.
right? It's not the latest, greatest, hottest thing.
Right.
And we don't go down to those places and ask for no discounts. You'll go ahead and pay $5,000 for the Louis Vuitton
Oh my
little
God.
change purse,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Did we talk
Yes.
about
But
this? Jesus.
right, and say, yo, this is just a little change purse. I got this same change purse down in Mexico for about $15. You think you can, but because it got the little LVs on it, you go ahead and pay $5,000 for it. You
But
didn't
still
ask
want a
them for no
discount
discount.
from the.
Right. And let me just say, when I was comparing myself to the individual, it wasn't, I was trying to do some price comparison because I
Hmm.
wanted to see where I fell at on the scale. I thought I was charging too much. I thought I was charging too much because I couldn't get people to buy my product. And so then when I looked at, and it wasn't just one, I had a selection
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
different people. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not charging enough. And I think it also plays a part, and we'll talk about it more as we go down to talk about supporting. I think it also plays a part in how people know you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
people, when they know you, they think they can come at you that way.
Come on.
They think and it's one thing for me to offer you. It's another thing for you to assume that I should.
Right. 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 Right.
But because, and I'm gonna add this, even in in an entrepreneurship kind of from a view, entrepreneurial kind of view, if you are a person that is also in the spiritual community, the religious community, if you're a deacon, if you're a pastor, if you are a healer, if you're any of those things, people then absolutely think that you shouldn't be charging what you charge, or you shouldn't be charging them.
But they pay $120 for one of TD Jakes' books just because he's him.
You heard I gotta get my edges,
I didn't get no amens. Amen.
I
Like,
know.
my
Hey, man.
edges, my edges. Trying to make sure they still there.
okay, so
Why are we this way?
how about this? So how about this? This is what we're gonna do. Starting with everybody who's watching, who's tuning in, the three people that are sitting here. We will charge what we are worth. And the person who does not want to pay that is not our client. Do we want to help everybody? Yes, we do. We want to help everybody because that's who we are. But we still have to eat. We still have to eat. We still have bills to pay. And if the fact of the matter is, as much as we want to help everybody, we can't. They're not your tribe. And we get to understand that once we do honor ourselves, we honor our time, we honor our skill set, we'll begin to weed out the people who are giving us a hard time and asking for discounts and don't want to pay us what we're worth and all of that. So as black entrepreneurs, as black business owners, as women business owners, we get to charge what we're worth. And we get to choose whether we want to give discounts, who we want to give for free. We get to choose. Those that ask for discounts, they're just not ready. They're not ready. And that's okay. That's okay. But we get to move those people out of the way to make room for those that will pay us, will honor our craft, don't have a problem, honoring our time, because it's time, which is a precious commodity. And once you reach a certain point, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I got a few years.
Yeah.
I better go ahead and, do what I'm going to do.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
we get to honor our time. And
And
those
that's
of us that are listening, like pay people what they're worth.
yeah. And but I like how you said if you can't like if you are clear that it's not in your budget, there's a way to have that conversation
Right.
that doesn't sound like I'm devaluing you. There's a way to come in and say, you know, I really want to do this. Everything in my power wants to do this. Um, how can I do that if I can't, afford blah blah blah? Because sometimes I say, well, what can you do?
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
have said that.
Mm-hmm.
And if what they can do still is, if what they can do to me clearly feels like like it's a, then we can talk about it. We can do a payment plan. We can do something
Right.
else. But
Right.
if you be like, well, I could do $25, that's what I tell the people when they call me about my bills. I get on the longest payment plan, but I stopped doing that because
But
I
it's
think
still your
that creates
prerogative to say
karma.
yes or no.
Right,
Right.
That's the point.
right.
Right. I think one of the things that I did learn I did learn from you, Vaughn. I've learned so many things from you. So in a moment of transparency, we talk about we go really quickly back to that whole mindset. I took myself out of the class. Even though I listen, it was just it was a lot, but life was a lot. But on top of that, I was intimidated, which is what I did not share with you, Vaughn, that I felt intimidated by everybody else in the cohort. So that's my moment of transparency. Anyway, so but one of the things that I was really proud of myself about in onboarding a client, or not even onboarding the client, but in having a conversation with a potential client, was about my pricing, my retainer, and of course they came back.
Can you mute while she's talking? It's doing the click click
I was
sound
doing the
again. Yeah. Okay.
um, and so of course it was pushback. There was pushback on it, and um, before I would have been, I would have buckled, I think, but I was like, no, that it's already, um, I let you, it's already discounted, and I'm not going. But here is what I can do for that. and so that made me feel so empowered, and so I appreciate, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you poured out, that you pouring out your wisdom in the way that you do. Even just like if you just kind of talk your the two videos that you do during the week and stuff like that. Like, you may not always see me on, but I'll be peeping it. So I don't, so you have helped me in a major way. I'm still struggling, like when it comes to pricing and stuff like that. Because when I do pricing, people are telling me that's still not enough, but I think I'm doing better. So I haven't arrived, but I'm better than I was before. Yeah. So you go
Very
first.
good.
Okay.
Very good. And again, there's nothing wrong with getting uncomfortable with that, because it takes some muscle. It does. It takes some muscle. Uh, and once we do get comfortable with, well, my retainer is $5,000 a month or whatever your retainer is.
See this response?
But
Like,
but you see how when you said it, it
right,
just rolled off your tongue.
right. For
For
us, it was
me,
just
that
like,
conversation would have been like
it's $5,000.
5,000 a month.
But when it does roll off of your tongue and you can say that, that's when those clients will show up. And if you have four clients a month at $5,000 a piece, do the
Jesus, I
math.
want to cry.
My face just cracked on the ground. I'm trying to get it. It just my face hurt now.
If you
Dad, you
had
hurt.
2 clients a month, you're having a
Yeah.
5-figure month.
Come on.
Two
Wow.
clients?
Mm,
Yeah,
wow.
we don't have to work hard, not kill ourselves.
This is so
You
good.
know,
I literally about 10 minutes ago was saying, just said to myself, I said, what is better to have 10 or 20 clients that are giving you piecemeal, or that you discounted to the bone, and they're kind of, what I'm saying, or to have like five major clients that takes care of
that's the
everything.
conversation. That's the conversation I just had in my meeting. That's the conversation.
So God, I mean, it really, really, it begins with this whole mindset piece. It really, and I'm claiming it. Yes, I am claiming it. I need to change because my first goal was 20 clients before I started building a team, and then I was just, so now I have to change that. Now I don't want 20 clients because I don't want to work that. I mean, I do want to work, but I don't want, listen. I, yeah, I have to change that. I got to go back to the drawing board and you know and change that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I and I'm gonna share
yep.
something. And if this person ever sees this show, I definitely don't want them to be offended. But when I found out I have colleagues, right? It was more than one too. So let me just say that colleagues that charge, they can do Zoom sessions with you, right? But if they have to get visual with you, that's extra money, right? So I'm like, they said, yeah, so we're gonna meet, but we're only gonna meet by Zoom. And I was like, by audio. And I was like, oh, okay. They was like, but if you want to see me, that's extra money, right? So I was like, what? Like you saw my eye, right? And they said, yeah, because I have to get camera ready. It takes me an additional hour to get ready to show up for you 10 o'clock in the morning. Set up my space, do my face, get dressed, all of that. And I sat there and I said, you right. Because there are moments when I get up and I do a praise dance when someone tells me that the conference call is over the phone. When they say we got to be on Zoom, I be like, but I thought that was the most amazing thing. Who thought of that?
Wow. That's a person that.
I don't know, but it works. I mean, it's the truth.
Wow.
It's the truth because I can talk to you on the phone. But yeah, if I gotta put on my bow tie and all that stuff too, come on. You gotta pay me for that. You gotta pay me to look cute,
Right.
cuter. You gotta pay me to look cute.
Cuter. Yeah, cuter.
Because nobody gets on the screen, even for a regular Zoom call, nobody gets on the screen with their head wrap on and all that. Either the picture is there, so can't nobody see you, or you done. I do this just to come on walking heavy. This right here is just for walking heavy. After I finish, my little wipe go like this comes off, everything. And I had to do extra to this week because I done messed around, got microbladed. So my brows were like doing their own thing. They
Peeling.
still healing. They were peeling and everything this morning. I was like, couldn't you wait till Sunday? Oh, listen, I get it. So Um, so we've talked about, and it's weird. I didn't even have to go into the questions because we started answering the questions on our
Yeah,
own.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
we already talked about we're going to go a little over an hour. We talked about the mindset of the Black entrepreneur, what keeps us from moving in our greatness. We talked about creating Black businesses, and we shared recommendations on opening new business. Do you want to give us a few more recommendations for those who want to open a new business? What are some recommendations you can give?
Yeah.
So there's a practical, and then there's a not so practical.
Mm.
So practicality, of course, is there's a need. There's a need that that will just kind of make you money. Amazon was a brilliant idea. In the beginning, it was stupid. Sticky notes was a stupid idea, but we can't live our life without them. All right. So, but on the not so practical side, the sticky note was an idea given to the person who came up with the sticky notes or the post-it notes or whatever. And so if you have an idea, and again, if you could be a financial planner, you could be a dope administrator, whatever. If you have a product or service and you get the idea, the inkling to start a business, that is something that has been downloaded into you, and everything that you need will be provided, right? And that gift will make room for you because nobody can do it like you do it, right? So if you see a space where there's a need that could be fulfilled that people will pay you for it, go for it. Understand that there will be bumps and bruises. It will not be smooth. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It is not. It takes guts and balls to do this. All right. And it takes some perseverance and some stick to itiveness. And you got to be okay with people talking about you. And you got to be okay with losing a few friends. You get like
Lord have mercy.
you can't have thin skin around it. All right. And again, if God gave you the idea, if God showed you something, do it. Do it. And be equally as ready to have some bumps and bruises. To get okay with people talking about you. To lose some
Right.
friends along the way. Because at the end of the day, you're going to find yourself in different circles anyway. You're going to find yourself in circles with entrepreneurs. And if most of your friends are 9-to-5ers, they're not going to get it. And then
Wow.
once you reach a certain level, you're going to be in line with other entrepreneurs that are on your next income level,
This is
right?
good.
On your next investment level. And so those entrepreneur friends are going to kind of fall by the wayside, or they're going to be leveling up in their own space.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And if your family, by and large, is they're 9-to-5ers, they're not going to get it. They're not going to understand why you can't, because why there's no Friday. There's no Friday.
Come.
Yay,
So
weekend.
good. This is Friday.
Weekend.
Yeah.
There's no weekend. We work every day.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
And I will tell you, it does make a difference.
Yes.
It does make a difference,
Yes.
especially if in a relationship, if both of you have an understanding of what an entrepreneurial life is, or anything. That's
Mm-hmm.
ministry, other things that
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It shows up different in conversations because if you go, baby, I can't go. I have
Oh my
3
goodness.
clients tonight. I can't do it. And they're like, but you said, and this was going to be, but I gotta pay. You know the credit card bill due. And you don't want to make it about money. Like the purpose is not about money. But I want to live financially well so that as I'm moving in my purpose, I don't have to stress about my money.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And people are, I know self-care is important, right? And I know taking time out for yourself is important because you do have to refuel, and so that you can be on your A game, right? But you also have to, and this is my mindset. Nobody's going to do it for me. I'm responsible for me. And so whatever it takes for me to make sure that I'm okay and that I can, then that's what I'm going to do. And so yeah, it takes many hours, long periods of time without people hearing from me, seeing me, people tease me about me being in my ivory tower, but I spend many hours because I'm hustling. I'm gonna hustle till I don't have to
Hustling.
hustle anymore. Listen, that is my I don't want to have to hustle. So I'm gonna hustle now so I don't have to hustle later. Stupid. Ron looking at me
But
like a
but but
like a
hustle,
proud somebody. And here's Ron. But
no, but hustling now earns you the right to not have to hustle later.
hmm
You can hire people.
yeah,
All you got to do is sign the check so everybody gets paid,
yeah,
and let them do the hustling. And now you're the business owner. You're in another tax bracket. You don't pay as many taxes. You don't work as hard. You're just watching and making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And God bless you for being able to contribute to other people's increase, jobs,
Right.
mm,
you know, or whatever. So yeah, we hustle now. So at some point we can stop hustling,
yeah.
physically, sort of,
Yeah,
kind of.
sort of, yeah, sort
You
of,
get what
kind
I'm
of.
saying?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
so I'm able to take a vacation. I actually take a full
Right.
day
And
as opposed to a couple hours.
Right.
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 And yes,
Right.
I'm sorry. I am very proud. If anybody's watching has not seen her website, that thing is so incredibly clean. I can't even begin to explain it.
Isn't it?
That and from a year ago, and I got an alert on some social media thing about our first session a year ago. It
hmm
started July the 2nd or the 3rd, and you were in the session.
Yes.
So like, yes, I'm having a proud papa moment.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Let me have it.
You can have it.
You are more than welcome to have that moment. Take it. Stand
Yes.
in it. So
Yeah. So go ahead.
no, I was going to say because it seems like we're also now starting to talk about the mindset of the consumer.
Yeah,
So
we
I
need to
just
talk
wanted
about
to
that.
bring that up. The mindset of the consumer. Like, how does it show up from the other side if you're not a business owner? Like we talked about, the conversation of the mind, how money shows up in the narrative of people of color and why.
Mm.
So we're talking about the mindset now of the consumer.
So let's go back, way, way,
Yes,
way
yes,
back.
yes, yes.
Going back again, I'm excited.
There's still an internal conflict
hmm
about us still being the currency at one point and putting the value,
mm
the tangible value on how we distribute. Okay. So if I'm only worth 4 cows or a bushel of corn, now I must not be worth very much. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to spend, not invest, spend to make myself look like more than the girl who lives in the projects. Or I'm going to make myself look like a movie star so I can feel better about myself because society says that I'm the lowest person on the totem pole, that I'm not smart enough, that I'm not good enough, that my hair is kinky, that my skin is too dark, that my being doesn't matter because they're killing my brothers and my father. So I must not be worth. And because they're killing me as a black man, I'll never get here. They said I won't do this, but I really want to go to med school. But I can't because I grew up in the projects and nobody's going to give me a chance. I'm going to go and I'm going to buy myself a $200 pair of sneakers to make myself feel better about myself. So this one hurts me more than anything else. I promise you it does. Because we have placed our worth in a pair of red bottom shoes or a Louis Vuitton pocketbook. That we are not enough. And if we don't believe that we're enough, then we'll never have enough. We'll never have enough. We'll never have enough shoes, purses, sneakers, drugs, sugar, caffeine. We'll never have enough. And so our worth is still caught up in us being the currency and us only being worth, a bushel of corn.
So,
It'd be nice if we did put our worth in a piece of land.
mhm.
I own this piece of land. That's where I'm going to spend my money. I'm going to take my $200 and I'm going to invest it. So I'm going to invest in some Nike stock, draw some dividends, and at some point buy some land, which holds value. The sneakers do not hold value. Cars do not hold value.
Hmm.
Property, tangible things like that hold value.
Right.
Those are investments. A sneaker is only an investment if it's going to help you make $400 from the
Mm.
$200. So
Mhm.
Gotcha.
and who's that? Basketball players. Cool. You can
Mm.
wear it. You can wear the $200 sneakers. But if you're just styling and hanging out on the block, are those sneakers going to help you double your money?
Hmm.
Doubt it.
I like
Unless
you
somebody
said
comes
that.
along and gives you a modeling deal.
Right.
But
I like the last part though, because that means that when I get my red bottoms, I can say that they help me make additional money than what I do.
But
in
it
your case,
depends on
yes.
what you use and what you
Yes,
wearing them
absolutely.
for.
True.
Right. And for you, because you have a business and you're coaching and you're standing in front of people, right? It's a tax write-off. Hello, somebody. It's a 100% tax write-off.
Oh my
so
gosh.
so
Woo.
if I
That's why you
so
get ready to be my accountant. See what happens? My picture just keeps on getting itself together. I needed a financial person. Hallelujah.
so here's a question, and I know we're over an hour now, but the question is that is the same. Well, would you say that it's the same mindset that we then place on our own? Because we can go out and get the $200 sneaker, but we won't buy the $200 sneaker from our own people. You talked about that Louis before. We're not paying Louis prices for anything that our own people are selling. So would you say that it's the same mindset that of that, not feeling worth and that feeling of unworthiness? Do we then place that on other people, right? We place that on black entrepreneurs that
Right.
that were what I'm saying. So yeah, and that's why we ask for the discount and all of that stuff. Why? I don't understand why that is. It's, oh god, it's frustrating.
It's very disheartening, and And as far as I'm concerned, if you got to spend, if you have to, if it's just killing you and it's burning a hole in your pocket to spend $200 on a pair of shoes, yes, please, by all means, support black businesses, support the black shoemaker, right? Unfortunately, there's not a lot. And if there are a lot, we don't know. And so it's our job also to push us forward. How did Louis Vuitton get to be Louis Vuitton? Because people started buying,
Right,
and people
right,
and Louis Vuitton was reinvesting, and then they
right.
got to have the marketing, and then they put the Louis Vuitton belts on the movie stars,
Mhm.
right? So if we can put our pocketbooks and our shoes and our head wraps and our bow ties on people who are out in the public, then eventually somebody will say, "Wow, that's a really cute bow tie. Where'd you get that?" And I can say,
Mhm.
Yeah.
"Well, I got this at Ruth Nathan's, or
Yeah.
I got this bow tie. I forget that little boy's name. I forget his name, but
I know who
from
you're
the
talking
little
about.
guy,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, yeah. So and all of this that I speak of is going to take some time. But what we don't do is stay with it. July the 7th is cute. Bless his heart, whomever came up with it. But if we spent a lot of money on the 6th and we spend a lot of money on the 8th, July the 7th doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Mhm.
So we get to start now and support our own
Right.
from
That's
now
real.
henceforth now and forevermore. Not just the one day. The one day
Yeah.
economically doesn't make a difference. It just doesn't. So we don't order from Amazon Tuesday. So what? We'll order from them on Friday before the week is up,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I said all that to say like we can start now. We can start now. We can support our own now. And I think we're probably all about the same age. We may not see it in our lifetime, but we can impart this in our kids and impart this in our grandkids. And like, this is what you do. This is what you do. You know, the tide is turning. And so, by the time that our grandkids are our age, then they will have seen the change happen. So we got to start now. We got to start now. We needed to have done this already. If I know for me personally, and this is just me, that all of my skin products come from a black company out of Texas. Are they going to deliver tomorrow? Nope. But I get to wait another day for them to deliver me my products. Okay. And if I need it today, shame on me for not ordering it 3 days ago. You know what I mean? So we get to shift it. All right. And don't expect them to send it overnight. They're not Amazon Prime. And if they miss something in my order, I don't call them up and scream at them. Hey, you forgot my shampoo. Not a problem. And I get it 2 days later. Their customer service is second to none. And that's another thing that we get to do as well. We get to do better with our customer service, and we get to check each other from a loving place. I need somebody to tell me if my junior accountants are being, buttheads today. I need somebody to tell me that. If they don't tell me that, then shame on them. I don't want to go and support our own because they got, Shaniqua, Ranisha, Taisha, Fuquay popping
Mm-hmm.
gum at the counter talking about some what you want. Well, shame on you for not telling the business owner that, oh girl, look, we
Sometimes
got
they
some
the
tech.
business owner. Every now and then they the business owner.
You
Serious.
are so true. But but it's our job to check her.
Mm.
And if we don't
Right.
check her, then that's our fault. It's our fault. We get to take responsibility for each other. And if she decides that she doesn't want to do something about it, just like any other business, eventually they're going to go out of business. She's going to go out of business, and it won't be
Mhm.
anybody's fault but her own. But that I take that personally. Me as a business coach, entrepreneurship coach, as a tax accountant, one who adores small businesses. I love it when people start their businesses. When they go out of business, it bothers me. That's why I started my program to teach us how to stay in business.
Mhm.
Because it's actually more than just being a really good chef or a really good tax accountant. There's a business behind the business. There's a business behind being a really good chef or a baker or a dressmaker. There's a
Mhm.
business behind it. Not taking care of your business, you'll definitely go out of business. You can have the best food, the flyest coats and jackets, the flyest bow ties around. If your business is crap, bless your heart. I'm talking a lot. Y'all are not stopping me. I know we're
No,
way
because
over an
we
hour.
like
No,
what
we
you're
like what you're
saying.
saying. It's
This
real
is the whole
powerful what
point.
you're saying, and we're
Yes.
actually, coming down to our close time. But you had some real good information here. Um, can you mute for a second for me? So, um, one of the reasons why I wasn't saying anything because everything that you were saying was so it was stuff that I needed to hear. And I mean,
Mhm.
I'm serious about as I move through this because I have to get an accountant anyway. So you know, but um, just on some real stuff, you touched on how money trauma, how financial trauma shows up for us, and so I think that that was very powerful. So I wasn't going to interrupt, but we're coming to a close, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to share with everyone where they can find you, what what you do. I mean, you talked about it, but just to give everyone the idea of where they can find you so that they can support you. And we'll also post it in the Walking Heavy group. But Sue, do you have any additional questions before we get ready to close out?
No questions. It's just this is well, I was just going to say that that it would be helpful for those of us who are creatives. A lot of times, people who are creatives, they're not really going on the business end because they're so creative heavy. Now I know that that is what my issue is too. Just looking at things from a creative standpoint, and then you're good on that side, but then you struggle on the money bit. And so hopefully we can, maybe hopefully we can either have you back to talk about that, or you have developed something that will help us with that. Can I share my screen? I was going to share the website. Do you want me to see if I can share my screen right there? Oh, I can't hear you,
You're
Jesus.
more than welcome to see if you
Okay,
can
okay.
share your screen.
All right. So let me. Can you see it? Increase.
Yeah, we put I pulled it up. It's up there.
All right. So that yeah. So that is. Can you still hear me even though I'm sharing?
I can hear you.
Oh. All right. So Vaughn, you could talk about your own site. This is your site. Vaughn, you gonna talk about your site?
Hilarious. So yeah, it's my site. People can get me there. There's a contact box. That's www.activateincrease.com. Um, I can be. You can follow me on Instagram at _don't die broke _ um, Vaughn Williams on Facebook, VONNE Williams. And gosh, I just lost my train of thought. So the IG, Facebook, activateincrease.com, and if you want some Don't Die Broke merch, it's don'tdiebroke shop.com.
Don't die broke.
Don't die, bro.
Shop.com, and we can see it. For some reason, when I change the screen this way, we can see your hashtag. So if you said, I don't remember any of that stuff y'all just said, go look for the hashtag don't die broke. Wow. Thank you so much for everything. Even with the technical difficulties, the knowledge that you have shared has been profound, and I absolutely believe that I would love to have you, even through Pink Love Wellness or something, have that conversation with people again in a more private setup, and maybe technology will be a little bit more kinder to us that day, because that was deep.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
anyone that missed it, please go back and watch the replay, because just the idea of who we are as people of color, black people, let me
black
say
people.
that,
Yeah,
as it relates to money, I thank you. You definitely broke a chain for me today.
and
You
I see
absolutely
the
did.
book already. Money
Working
and
on
the
it.
Black Mindset, or something like
So
that. Mm. Let's go. It's something like that. But
got
go
it.
ahead.
Thank you.
You're
Got it.
welcome.
Got it. Got it. So I'm humbled and grateful and flattered that you guys have me on today. And if I can help anybody out, please let me know. Please reach out. I this is what I do. If I could sit and talk about money all day long, or how I can help somebody make their money, or activate their increase, or get their investment squared away, or create generational wealth for their families and their grandkids or whatever, or their communities. If I can help you save on your tax returns, if I can help you not pay any taxes at all, that's if I can do this all day, I'd be so happy. Every day, oh my gosh, I just wouldn't know what to do with myself. So again, thank you guys for having me on, and I can't wait to the next one. Mercury retrograde is a bear. Please, nobody sign any big contracts, not yet, not till after July the 12th,
Okay,
because this
good. All right.
communication here is just so messed up. But I hope
Someone
that they
said they
heard me. I
coming to
hope you
see
guys
you.
heard me.
Thank
In
you.
the room, they said they coming to see you.
Okay, cool. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm moving back in my office. The Rona is over. Well, the Rona is easing up, so I'm moving back to my office.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. And we all will be in touch after this broadcast. Thank you so
Yes,
much. Much love and many blessings to you.
yes. Love you.
What?
Girl,
Girl,
that was so good.
that was good.
I, you know, I
I had to keep checking
wanted to
on my end.
cry, but I'm just saying there were so many times that I really was moved to tears with some of the things that she was saying. Um, yeah, and so it's just kind of making me look at like my own, talking about mindset again, like how I look at money, how I look at business, how I look at how I see myself in business as an entrepreneur,
As
as
a consumer,
as a consumer, and yeah, yeah, and I realized that it took me a long time to say that I am a business owner, but to call myself an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Like I can say entrepreneur, but to call myself like I am a business owner. That is even a part of the mindset, because it's like if I own a business, then I'm going to treat it in a specific way.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, ooh, it was just so
Well, so
so
much. I mean, now I'm living. I am taking Jay Z's that sentence. I am not a businessman. I'm a
yeah, business
businessman.
man.
Like
Yeah,
that is where I'm at, and that's where I'm moving forward to. Because I told you, I'm dead. Like I'm dead ass. As
yeah,
y'all New
yeah,
York can say,
that
dead
ass.
ass. Dead ass serious about moving in my business differently.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm dead serious. Like this is a matter of life and death for me at this point.
right,
So if you
right.
see me and you say, "Oh, there's something different about Renee," oh, she must be getting new. No, I'm not getting new. I'm getting better.
Yeah, yeah. Come on.
So, but that's another show, and we can definitely talk about this in our little after chat we have every week, after these shows that will soon turn into our podcast.
Yes, yes.
Just
Whoop,
please know that we are in our the next to the last show of the season next
whoop.
week when we come back, right? And before I tell you about next week, we sit here talking about our businesses and things like that, and I didn't even share who the show was sponsored by. Like, we totally missed that, right? So this show is sponsored by Kara Solutions. Focus on your passion, let Kara handle the rest, which is owned and operated by Sue.
Whoop, whoop.
And Pink Love Wellness, a holistic practice dedicated to helping heal hearts, to heal the world, which is owned by me. So I just want to put that plug in there because we forgot to say who our sponsors were, right?
Yeah.
But yes, so next week, that is the Q&A show.
Yes, it's the cute.
We are closing out our season with the Q&A show number 12. That means bring your questions, whether they're relationship questions, spiritual questions, business questions. We are just going to sit down next week, grab our little, well, I got water, but we're
I
going
might
to have
have wine next week, Jesus.
I might have wine next week too. I'm gonna join you. I
Yeah.
seldom drink anymore, but I join you some a glass of wine as we celebrate our first season
Woo!
and we prepare to do the work to come back for our second season in August, September. And we will look and then give more information as the weeks go on about the podcast that will accompany the broadcast. Right?
I'm sorry.
Why you laugh?
Because Fawn just emailed me to say that she wanted to stay and listen. Did you put
No, I didn't touch it.
okay?
No. I thought she left on her own. I
Okay.
didn't know what happened. Tell her she can come back and sit in the green room. We got 3 minutes.
Let me
So,
see.
I just want to take a moment. We'll do more of this next week, but I just want to take a moment to thank everyone that has gone out of their way to join us week after week after week for this endeavor. But I want to get teary-eyed. We'll do that next week. But next week, bring your Q&A. Tell your
Yes,
friends,
yes.
come and hang out with us. We're going to have a good
It's gonna
old
be
time.
interesting.
We're going to
Are we
reflect on some of
filtering?
this
Are we
stuff.
filtering? Are we
Do
filtering?
we ever filter?
I'm saying the questions.
No, bring the questions.
All
Bring
right,
whatever the
whatever
questions
you
are.
want to know, we're gonna answer the questions.
We're going to answer the questions, and we're going to reflect on some of the highlights of our season, the
Yeah.
things that made us laugh, like the cars that keep going by when I'm on the air. Um, the things that made us laugh, the things that made us cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes we would leave from here and have to unpack a
Mhm.
lot of the stuff that's opened within that hour, and just our love and our care for you. So before we
Yeah.
get ready to go, and don't forget that we broadcast on, we stream live on the Walking Heavy show. Follow us on Facebook. And if you say I have friends that don't have Facebook, let them know that we stream live on the page, and then we also stream live on the YouTube for Renair. Amen.
Yeah.
And we'll be streaming live in more places when we come back next season. So,
Yes.
Sue, we got one more week at this, but do you have anything that you want to say before we close out today? We have 53 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have it. Yeah, and I really don't have anything to say. I'm looking forward to our final show of the season next week. They're asking should we send questions early? No,
You
let's.
can.
Well, you
You
can.
can.
I was going to say let's do
If
the
you want to be anonymous,
Yeah.
if you want to, right,
Yeah,
if you want to send questions early and you want to be anonymous because there may be something you don't want people to know that you're asking,
right,
please go ahead and send it to us and let us know it's anonymous.
right, because we'll call you out.
Let us know it's anonymous. We ain't gonna call you out, but you can send them in early. If you want to make sure that your question gets asked, and we will be ready to have a good old time as we close out the first season of the Walking Heavy show
Yes,
with
love you guys
Sue
so much.
and Rainier.
Yes, bye y'all. Peace out.
That would have been good if I'd have been ready with the outro, right? Here we go.
Peace out.